महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि महादेवमुदं शिरसा नमामि महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि. The doership is centered on, of course, I, and centered on the doer are all karakas. When there is an action, just English word you take, any one action, hears, sees, that any action, verb, any verb, it reveals a certain object if the verb is transitive. If it is intransitive, there is no object. He sits. He lies down. He stands. He walks. All these are intransitive verbs, no object. But then there are other questions you ask. Sits means who sits? So you ask question to the verb, where does he sit? Etc. You get a few questions answered. So those answered questions are called karakas. Understand? The question and the answered questions are karakas. So there are transitive verbs. He goes to, he goes to what? To the village. So by what does he go? By what means does he go? The general answer is by walk, correct? It is not by walk. Walk is not a vehicle. He doesn't go, he goes walking or he goes on foot, not by walk. Whole India we hear by walk only. I came by walk. Yeah. Then if whole India talks, why do you talk like this? Don't ask me, okay? By walk. I care for all this. There's no by walk. I came by walk, very common. So the by reveals a means. And therefore, so that is a question. By what means you came? Or the person goes. For what purpose does he go? Fourth karaka. By what? Third karaka. To which place? Second karaka. Who? First karaka. From where? The fifth karaka. Then seventh karaka also is there. Sixth one is missing. Seventh karaka. What is that? The seventh karaka is in what? He lives in the city. In which city? He has a problem in his ear. Which ear? In the ear, he has got the earring. Because he wears only one earring, so no problem. Therefore, what I say, so this is called karakas. The sixth case is genitive. So this belongs to Rama. This is Rama's bow. There is no action here. Understand? So except the sixth case, all other cases are called karakas. So even if you call, when you call somebody, A, come here, that A is the object of your calling. And therefore, the nominative is generally, you call that person. Who is that person? Is the Sambodha called Sambuddhihi. There is also, we can include in Karaka. Only the genitive case is not included. Therefore, they are called Karakas. So, if these Karakas are all centered on one Karaka, and that is the subject, the doer. If you do away with the doer, not by doing away, physically doing away with the doer, by making the doer badita. You don't do away with the pot, but you make the pot badita. In your knowledge it is badita. Badita, when you say, no change so far, whatsoever in the object, but there is a change in your drishti. So, and the drishti means in your vision, in your understanding, there is a change. And because of the change, the reality that was imputed to pot, so got completely changed. In other words, got badita. And badita means what? As though reality. It became a mithya reality because it has no being without clay. So clay becomes satyam and that becomes mithya. Therefore, when satyam, the Atma, is understood, mithya is included in the satyam, but satyam doesn't include mithya. And therefore, so satya Atma hamasmi, this is mithya bhuta Atma iti. Therefore, all the karakas by prathama karaka upamardhanena, by the negation of this prathama karaka, the first karaka, all the karakas are also taken care of, and therefore there is no karma, there is no karanam, there is no sampradana, there is no purpose, etc. This is what is said in the verse Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. We hear this all the time, In the ashram you hear this. Before food you remember this very well. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau. Some people wait for Brahmarpanam to be over. Then only they walk in. But when you walk in little earlier, sometimes you walk in little earlier and you hear this sentence, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, iti. What does it mean? A karma is mentioned here. It's amazing it is. A karma like a ritual. In the ritual there is a turf, fire. The fireplace is there. And then there is somebody who is offering the ritual. And the offering is oblations. The oblations are unto the fire. There is a means of oblation. And there is something offered. Something offered unto the fire, which is the oblation. There is a purpose for this. Now, all these are karakas. By whom it is offered? Brahmanahutam. The one who offers is Brahman. It is offered by Brahman. The oblation is offered by Brahman. One action is shown here. Brahmanahutam. By what does he offer? Brahmarpanam. Arpyate anena iti arpanam. So the mantra that he chants also, Agneya Swaha, that mantra is arpanam. And the ladle also is arpanam. So by which he offers that ghee is all arpanam. And therefore that arpanam is not different from Brahman. That ladle or mantra is not separate from Brahman. Brahmarpanam, Brahmanahutam. Then what is offered? The object offered unto the fire. Brahma, he says Brahma Havihi. Havis is Brahman. Brahma Havihi. He offers this Havis. This Havis is, so this, what is offered? Kind of rice, cooked in milk. This Havis is offered unto the fire. And that is Brahma Havihi. Brahmanahutam. Brahmarpanam. Brahma Havihi. Brahmaiva. Brahmanahutam. Brahmagnav. Brahmagnav. Saptami, seventh case. So, seventh case, Brahmagnav, in the fire of Brahman. Understand? Unto the fire, where does he offer? Unto the fire, Brahmagnav, Brahmanahutam. Alright, for what? For what purpose? Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. What is to be gained is Brahman only. What does it mean? There is nothing to gain. There is nothing to lose. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. Because this person is called Brahma Karma Samadhihi. So this Sarvatra Brahma Darshanameva, all the Karakas are Brahman iti. The one who has got Brahma Darshanam, he is doing the Brahma Karma. He is called Brahma Karma. And therefore, that is Sarvatra Brahma Darshanam is Brahma Karma. And Tasmineva Samahita Buddhihi Yasya Brahma Karma Samadhihi. Samadhina. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. Brahma Karma Samadhina. Therefore, so this is called Jnanagnihi. This is the knowledge of fire. This Jnanagnihi Basmasat Kurute Arjuna. This knowledge reduces to ashes what? Sarvani Karmani. All karmas. All karmas. All karmas means what? So karmas, sanchita karma. This is one karma. The model, the Veda introduces the karma as one that really binds you. Because of karma alone, one is born. Because of karma alone, one is reborn. Understand? One is born, one is reborn, and therefore the karma that is standing in the name of this jiva, well, is called sanchita karma. This is the job of Chitragupta. There is a Gupta ji. This Gupta is the greatest accountant, number one CPA, understand? And this person is the original CPA, has got the account. All is not even computerized, it is all law. He is the presiding deity of that law. So, you look at Ishvara from the standpoint of that law, we have a name for Ishvara. That one particular aspect is called Devata. These jobs are all available for different people. This is Guptaji. Then what does he do? He is keeping all these accounts. Sanchita karma is gone. Why? I am not the doer. So it was, the account was in the name of the doer. Understand? In the name of the doer, and the doer is gone, deceased, there is no claimant, and therefore no claimant is possible also. Therefore, like even a person who committed various actions in the dream, wakes up and he finds himself free from all the consequences of the karma phala. That's all what it is. Why? Because when you wake up, you falsify the dreamer. You don't completely falsify yourself. You are still there. I am the one who dreamt. But the doer in the dream is falsified. That superimposition was called, the bluff is called. Therefore, the waker is not responsible. Therefore, you are not accountable. So, understand now, the dreamer is responsible for all the actions done in the dream as long as the dream spell is there. Waking up, the person is free. Same thing happens. Sanchita karma, the fellow is free from sanchita karma. Because door is gone. In fact, Chitragupta makes a sigh of relief. Abba. One karma, one set of karma gone. One fellow is gone. One fellow's karma is gone. One file is closed. Deceased. Sanchita is gone. Look at this, how new karmas getting accrued. And the new karmas all go to the Sanchita alone. In this life, until this fellow come to know about this, until then he had done a lot. And those punya papa karmas, they are all to be added to the original in suspense account they were there. But they are also, they are also gone. Then what? They are also gone. Then what is there is only this prarabdha karma. This, the karma that has brought this body into being. This karma is Ishvara Srishti. They can be, by calling the bluff, you can dismiss all of them. But this one, already you had asked for it. You had asked for it because of the previous karma. This is Ishvara Srishti. This has an empiricality. This is not purely pradibhasikam. It is not, it is an empiricality. It has already started fructifying, and therefore this will run its course. Thank God this body continues. If it doesn't continue, there will be no teacher, I tell you. If this body also disappears in the wake of knowledge, there will be no teacher. This body is, this is like even Mukta Yishu, like even the released arrow. So this has already begun fructifying, and therefore, so this will run its course. It's not a problem. From the standpoint of the Atma, it is free from all karmas, all the three. Understand? All the three. From the standpoint of this body, then there is prarabdha karma alone, because they are all waiting for new bodies. New bodies cannot come because Mr. So-and-so is not there. And the old body that has fructified will continue. So this is called, this avastha is called Jivan Muktihi. He is the person who becomes the teacher. Tad viddhi pranipadena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. And therefore go to the teacher. And this is the person who is the teacher, who is in the tradition of teaching, who knows the method of teaching. It is like therapy. It is not by book reading you never become a therapist. You have to subject yourself to therapy. Then only you know what therapy is. You can read 1 million books. It doesn't make, you will be more confused, that's all. Every book you read and symptoms are there, you will think you have all the symptoms. And therefore, these books do not really deliver the goods. They can inspire you perhaps to give an idea to pursue therapy. The therapy is, it is a method. It is a method. You get to have a certain say over your emotions. That to reach there, you require to spend hours of a specialist, hours with a specialist on the couch. And so too, this is a super therapy. Understand? This is further. So this therapy is, you are not this, what do you think you are, is true. We have to say, validate that. It is true from one standpoint, but really it is not true. This is what we have to keep saying. And therefore, there are so many confusions about oneself. We can't even perhaps know these conclusions are hiding in yourself. With reference to that I am, my upadhi is no good. You know what I say? Sometimes we use this word. This Atma is Satchidananda. Upadhis differ. Mind is upadhi, body is upadhi. Different upadhis are there. Upadhis differ. Now the person comes and tells, I tell this so that I can make you feel, that make you see that you are free from the limitations of the upadhi. No matter how much you embellish the upadhi, still you will be limited. It is an embellished broomstick. So it's broomstick having a necklace, diamond necklace. So what? It's a broomstick. And similarly here, so this embellished upadhi is the same upadhi limited alone. All this I tell so that the fellow will have this knowledge that I am free in spite of the upadhi limitations. Then they present the whole problem a little differently. This is called informed representation of the problem. So this is previously they used to say, I am no good, I am no good. Now they come and tell me, Swamiji, my upadhi is no good at all. The sadness is the same. The sadness is the same. Problem is the same, that my upadhi is no good, Swamiji. You can tell because your upadhi is okay. But I can't tell that. But I am different. You are different. My upadhi is no good. Therefore, anything you say, they convert it into a problem and then present it in a sophisticated way. This is called Vedantic foolishness. Understand? And therefore, so after study of Vedanta, you present the same thing in a Vedantic way. Upadhi is not meant for complaining. Upadhi is to solve the problem. Upadhi is mithya. You can't say, my upadhi is bad, therefore I am bad. You can't say that. Therefore, upadhi is upadhi. It is limited. No matter what you do, it is limited. How much you accomplish, it is still limited. And therefore, I am free from the limitation of the upadhi. Thank God there is an upadhi so that you can do something here. This is what they call Jivan Muktihi. And therefore, so Lord Krishna says, you go to a teacher, tadvidhi pranipatena, pariprashnena sevaya, ask proper questions, do serve, and then upadekshantite jnanam, they will teach you. There is no reason why they should not teach you. Jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha, those who know, and also those who know the Shastra, and those who know the method of, there's a method about this, and this method of the method of teaching involved, and those who can handle this method, not only know, but they handle the method, they are called Shrotriyaha. And of course what they teach, they know. They're supposed to know. You can never conclude whether they know or not unless you expose themselves and then see. If they can make you see, they see. Jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. And therefore, tad buddhayaha tadatmanaha tannishtaha tatparayanaha gacchanti apunaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. They're all beautiful verses. Tad buddhayaha tadatmanaha. Their buddhi is in this vastu, tasmin brahmani eva brahmatmani eva buddhi yesham te tad buddhayaha tadatmanaha. Their aham pratyaya, asmat pratyaya is nothing but param brahma. Mean the I sense is no more sense it is. It makes no sense. And that is because the I notion is, means the ahankara, the ego, is Atma. Atma is not ego. That's why this ego is inflated, deflated, etc. It's variable, understand? The happy ego now, unhappy ego now. So that is the ego. That's a bubble, really speaking. This ego, but really it can be enlightened ego. Nobody loses the ego. It is enlightened ego. Or with certain karma yoga, it is lightened ego. Previously it was heavy. Now it is lightened ego. Then the lightened ego will become enlightened ego. Or very heavy ego, samsara. Samsari is called. So this is how this ego is. Therefore, tadatma tasmin brahmani eva asmat pratyaha peshante tadatmanaha. And the sthiti, they are never away from that any time, because it is not a question of memory to lose it. You can't lose it. If you don't have the notion, if you don't have the wrong notion about yourself, means your ignorance is not there, then how can you forget this? You cannot, there is no forgetting, because it is not a matter of memory, it's me. I have no more that confusion. Therefore, tannishtaha tatparayana, they don't have anything else to accomplish also. And such people do not come back. Gacchantya punaravrittim jnanena nirdhuta kalmashaha. They are people who have by knowledge all the kalmashas, all their purities, impurities, papa, etc., all punya, papa, all gone. There is no more karma left over. Until the body is here, it is there, it's gone. There is nobody to come back. Then there is a problem. Swamiji, will I decimate myself? I don't like that. I want to come back. I thought you say that we'll come back. Hey, you are Ishvara. You are Ishvara. There is no decimation. There is no decimation. There is only Satchidananda Atma. It always is Ishvara. Therefore, you are not separate anymore from Ishvara. You are Ishvara. Not that you are in Ishvara like amoebas in you. It is not. So that is all devotees' problem. The devotees all join, this is called Sayujyam. The devotees go to the Lord Vishnu and become, this is called Salokya, very near, within the scope of visual perception. Bhagavan dekhta hai, udhar hai, he is there, dekhta hai, it's called Salokya. Then you go very near, abhi pura dekhta hai, Samipya. You see Bhagavan very near, Samipya. Then afterwards, Sayujya. You retain your individuality and you remain within Ishvara. Like what, sir? Like amoebas in your stomach. The amoebas in your stomach. So, like amoebas in my stomach, yes. All the devotees are like amoebas in the stomach. That means what? And Ishvara will have devotitis. And what Ishvara will do? He will take flagell and flush the fellow out. It's all silly. Mahaganapatin manasa smarami Mahadeva mudam shirasa namami Mahaganapatin manasa smarami.